It looks like a drone. I see red and green shit. Must be a drone. Somebody call CNN. It's. I think there's a drone. Well, I wasn't going to get sucked into current events, but I just couldn't resist this one. Unless you've been asleep for the last couple weeks. Uh, Supposedly there is a drone invasion going on all over, well, some say all over the world, some say New Jersey, some say Pennsylvania, some say New York. We've got governors and senators holding meetings to try and take away more freedoms, as they often do. I'm definitely getting a lot of vibes like I did around 2020. If you remember, if you go back and you look, and back then I was labeled as a conspiracy theorist motherfucker or something like that. And people were gaslighting me left and right. And then, so many years later, turns out I was right about 90% of the things I was pissed off about. And here we are today, and not a single apology has come back from the people who tried to gaslight me into thinking I was crazy, particularly back home in New York, which, as we know, is a little bit more brainwashed than the rest of the country. But nobody wants to acknowledge the things I was right about. Um, all they want to do is prove themselves right. And if they can't prove themselves right, then they don't fucking tell you anything. But that's a whole other video. We're here to talk about drones and shit. I mean, I just wanted to give my opinion. And before I get censored or before I get, fact checked, I'm not here to give you facts. I'm here to give you opinion. This is my opinion. Everything I'm about to say to you is opinion on the things I'm observing, on the things that have been reported, and both by the mainstream fucking media, who never disappoints, and by people on the ground. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think is going on. By no means is this proof of anything. I'm not here to tell you, I know what's going on. I know I'm a prepper and I know that they're doing this. There might be some channels that are like that, but I'm not that channel. I'm an asshole and I'm a truck driver. As for me personally, I am currently in the Northeast. I'm in New York right now. I was in New Hampshire last night, Massachusetts, Connecticut. And it was a nice, clear, beautiful night, and I was able to spot multiple objects in the sky. And I was able to, with my background of being in the Air Force and of flying drones, I was into drones before DJI thought it was cool. You know, it I can tell you, I've looked at the regulations, the things that are required, the current software that won't allow you to do shit because it's connected directly to the FAA. I know what aircraft look like. You kind of have to when you're in the Air Force for 10 years, which I was. I worked on aircraft and I worked on technology that could be used to fight drones, essentially. So I'm kind of qualified to talk about this shit. Kind of. It's been a while, though. I've been spending a lot of years, going to the bar and singing karaoke and shit. So I might have killed a few brain cells that I had back in my 20s. But that being said, even back then, we had the tools to bring one of these things out of the sky without firing a shot. So I'm going to kind of assess some of the theories that I've come across. Of course, let's get it right out of the way. Is it aliens? While there are plenty of really credible sources that these aircraft or drones or whatever have capabilities beyond our current technology, I can agree with some of the evidence in that regard, but that doesn't mean it's alien in nature. It could be private companies. If you look at with AI and everything going on, AI being a big focus of my channel lately, um, if I had to guess, I think it might be a private company testing AI drone swarms. And they're probably doing so with the blessing of our government. And they're doing it all over the place, it looks like, and if I had to guess, the next big leap forward in modern warfare is going to be using drones to attack targets. You won't see normal aircraft in the skies with people in them anymore. You won't even see those aircraft being piloted from a remote location, which you can easily interrupt the signal to, and the drone will just drop out of the sky, pending technology and whatnot. Which we have that technology. Right now you bring your drone out to the fucking football game and you're flying over a 50,000 stadium with all kinds of people and shit in it. They have the technology to go pop. And not only will it force your drone to land, but even if it can't, through software means do that, they can interrupt the signal to where you lose control of the drone. Obviously, they're not going to do that over a crowd. But they have the capability. Now, the federal government, or more specifically the Biden administration, has come out and say, we don't know what they are, but they're not a threat. They're probably just a bunch of assholes looking at planes. And I can see both sides of that argument right now. Do I think there were credible sightings of drones doing advanced drone shit that people aren't used to seeing? Absolutely. Probably a week or so ago, I would say, yeah. Now you got every dickhead with a fucking phone shaking their phone outside their fucking house or their car going, oh, there's a light in the sky, it's a drone. Honey, look, it's a drone. Oh my God, it's a fucking drone. Come on, we gotta get our supplies, hurry up. Oh, what if they kill all the power, then we gotta go get some cash, and when they're just filming American Airlines or one of Delta or one of motherfucking planes that, and when you look up in the sky at a commercial aircraft, there can be perspective shifts. You don't, especially at night, you don't have good depth perception. So you don't know whether that's 100 feet off the ground or 5 or 6 miles off the ground in a lot of cases. You don't know the size of the aircraft. What are you going to measure? It's the size of an SUV. How the fuck do you know that if you don't know how far away exactly it is? It's perspective. And as someone who has depth perception issues, I can tell you that I can't accurately gauge how big something is without knowing exactly how far away it is. And at night, you're never going to do that. Just last night, I was going by, I think it was Manchester Airport, and I saw a plane on approach, and I was laughing to myself because it looked like it was a lot closer than it was, but it was clearly a plane. It put on its little headlight as it was approaching the thing, but it was going slow enough that it looked like it was hovering. It was going very slow, as aircraft on approach often do. And I was like, you know what? If someone had their shaky iPhone right now, they'd be filming that as a big blurry pile of shit to post on the internet and say, I seen a drone. No. And the places these reports are coming from, I can tell you because I've been there, are filled with aircraft. More aircraft than you can fucking keep track of. We're talking non-stop fucking planes landing at airports, coming in and out of the fucking ports, circling around, waiting for their turn to get in. These are all things. I've been on one of those planes where we had to wait for an hour before we were allowed to land at JFK or some shit. And we just circled the whole fucking area. We're going over Jersey. We're doing all kinds of shit. So yes, I think there was a credible something observed in the beginning, but now just every dickhead in there motherfucking is farming for clicks, including me. I was like, hey, I should probably make a video about drones because it's kind of popular right now. Is what it is. And I believe a lot of the footage you're seeing is that. But I'm also seeing some really dumb shit. I saw footage, and I'm going to try and post it right here in the video, of some dickhead firing at what looked to be a commercial aircraft, firing their gun at it. Now, if the government knows what's going on, they should be putting this shit to bed because you're going to get stupid people. You have an armed population. Sooner or later, somebody's going to say, whoa, there's a drone. And it's going to be a fucking Boeing 737 with 300 people on it. And they're going to get out their 50 cal fucking AR something or other. And they're going to point it up at the sky and they're going to start firing. And that is going to cause damage to the aircraft's engines, forcing it to crash. And then we have a disaster on our hands. That is stupid. And it's preventable by disseminating some information on what we're seeing. The government ain't doing that. They're telling us, well, you didn't see anything. And there's legit people that are in the government, or in local and state level, who have seen something. There are drones that followed the Coast Guard. There are drones that have done some weird shit off the coast. There are drones going over infrastructure. There have been drones doing that for a long time. Do you think these spies don't know what's going on? And now they're going to probably take advantage of this big smoke screen, and you're going to see legitimate drones doing spy shit. And we're not doing anything about it. That's what bothers me. After the Chinese balloon thing, I have been disgusted with the fact that we don't protect our borders. We've left the southern border wide open. Who knows what's here now as far as, sleeper cells and all of that shit. There's going to be fucking drones that are controlled by people that are outside the law, simply because the southern border's been dealing with that forever. That's part of the hearings that I watched last night on CNN, of all places. And I felt ill that it was CNN I was watching, but it was nobody talking, so it was just the camera was left on for the hearings where they're discussing ways to basically take drones out or get better state and local control over drones. And basically government wants more power to do more shit. And that's what they were discussing. Nobody identified what the drones are, and it was, pretty clear to me that the federal government is calm about this. So they know what the hell they're doing. They know what's going on, which rules out that it's a foreign adversary or anything like that. Because if it was a foreign adversary, believe me, they want World War III. They've done things to provoke World War III. So nothing would provoke it more than a foreign adversary flying drones into our airspace over our critical infrastructure. And it's a danger. We should have already taken out all the drones and then proudly displayed it for the American people. Look, we defended you. Instead, we get, no, you're only seeing commercial aircraft. Shut up. And there you can tell they're fucking lying. And that's the biggest thing for me in this whole thing. They lied to us during 2020, 2021, 2022, basically all the Biden administration. And even some of the Trump administration, there were lies being told. Um, and I'm not going to get into all of that at this point. It is what it is. It happened. We've moved on. We didn't all die. We're good. Um, I just hate that we're no longer defending our country. We don't care about our borders. People can fly shit in, large, above commercial grade drones. That's clear to me that that's going on. These are military level drones in some cases, from what's described, which also have the green and red lights and whatnot. And, if they were spy drones, you would not see them. You know, there's plenty of stealth technology. You would not see these things. Um, so that's the big thing for me is the government. And also, I'm always more than a little skeptical when the mainstream media is pushing a narrative. And right now, damn near every mainstream media outlet is trying to push this narrative. And if I had to guess why, it's because they don't want us to know something. They don't want us to pay attention to something else that's going on. What that something else is, could it be the World War III is kicking off soon and they want to soften it up with this bullshit? Or could the markets be about to crash and our economy goes into a complete depression level crash? Could that happen? I don't know. Then they can blame it on the drones instead of the administration in the White House. You know, who knows? Is it a last ditch effort by the current administration to fuck with the next administration? Because there's definitely been evidence of that. And for all you Trump haters out there, explain to me how you're okay with Biden pardoning a criminal that's a child. Yeah, let's just say they take advantage of abused children and lots of images of them, and we just pardoned them for some unknown reason with no explanation. Um, and name one thing Trump's done that's worse than that. All of this, grab him by the whatever, and you're gonna allow that. So I'm sorry, but your entire moral reason for hating Trump has crumbled in my book. When you've put somebody like Biden in a position of power. But I'll leave the politics there. I don't want to piss y'all off when I'm trying to rebuild the channel, right? Right? Okay. Anyways, back to, the government response. And this is a failure on both sides of the aisle, in my opinion. We're not defending our country. Okay? That's the thing we should be focused on, what we know. And what we know is all the media outlets are pushing the same narrative right now. And they're all calling for action from the federal government. Federal government's going, I don't fucking know. It's no threat. We're good. You good? We good? We good. And that's what the federal government's doing. So you got that is what's going on. These are the things I can observe. And we have a long history of how the government reacts to things. Every time something questionable is going on, we hear about the UFOs and all of that other shit. With no, we've had the technology to prove this for years now, and yet it's always grainy, questionable footage. Explain to me, in a world where we have a cell phone that has a 30x telephoto zoom and a fucking half-inch sensor in it, and retina bullshit fucking shit, You can't get me a clear picture of something that's lit up at night. Explain that to me. This is a big fucking fuck you to the iPhone and the Samsungs of the world if we can't get good footage of a UFO with your phone that's in your pocket. All right? 30x zoom. They advertise in the little thing that you can read the writing on a building that's a mile away. Yeah, a little sign next to a door. They're like, look at that, you can see the text. Yet all of this fucking footage we're getting out of this is grainy horse shit of what looks to be commercial aircraft. I'm sorry. I know there's people that really want it to be aliens. I want it to be aliens. Fuck. I mean, we'd stop beating the shit out of each other pretty quick if the aliens came in and said, hey, you're going to be our bitch now. Get to work, bitches. That'd unite the world pretty quick, People wouldn't be worried about who your politicians are at that point. So, but that's my thoughts on that. I've heard all the other theories. The preppers are saying it's our government and somehow there's a nuclear weapon loose or some shit and our government's looking for it and that's why they're being hush hush. I could tell you if that were the case, there would be a lot more hesitancy or defensiveness. I can tell by Jean, whatever the fuck her name is, giving her briefing that she doesn't give a shit. It's not bothering her in any way. And when you go back, to some of the earlier times where she's being grilled by reporters, and she gets all defensive. Well, right now they grilled her and she's like, what? It's getting crazy. And it's only going to get crazier because we're now at the point in our world where you cannot trust what you see online. You cannot trust any of the video footage that has been coming out of these. You don't know if it was computer generated or, much more likely nowadays, AI generated. AI could easily make footage and even make it convincingly, like all you have to do to make one of these is type in drone or even alien aircraft or UFO or some shit in the sky, and then you take that image that it gets you and you blur the shit out of it, and then you make it shaky. You can put camera shake in editing, or you can even make the AI make the video look like it's handheld shaky and shit. And guess what? And then you just post it on TikTok, and the next thing you know, it's viral. And then all the news agencies are putting it on the TV screen, flipped sideways. And it looks, because if you leave it flipped the other way, it looks like a fucking plane. But if we put it sideways, it looks like, these are the shenanigans the mainstream media is doing. That's already been called out. They took an image that was filmed like this, and they showed it to you like this. When it looks like this, it looks like a drone. When you had it flipped like the original film, it looks like a fucking plane. So yes, do not believe your eyes on what you're seeing. It's fun to theorize that aliens are here. And they very well may be, but they're not flying drones over us. They don't have to. They don't have to. They have the technology to not be seen. They've been doing it for a very long time if they're here, So there's that. I think there's some credence that there's something going on underneath the ocean based on previous evidence we've seen. But we are in the day and age where you cannot trust your eyes. You cannot trust your videos. There's just an example, like right now, crypto being all bullish that it's going on. You're going to see countless AI generated ads of CEOs of various crypto coins offering you free crypto if you do this, and it's so obviously AI because whoever did these commercials was lazy and couldn't take the time to make a really good AI film, and but you see all of that right now, and that tells me, because for every one of those there's somebody that takes the time and effort to make it look convincing. And while you can still spot some tells of AI, especially if you're into it, which I recommend getting into it because you'll develop an eye for AI generated shit versus real shit. But you're still not going to be an expert. You will still be fooled by things occasionally. There's some times where I've seen something I'm like, is that AI or is that normal? You know. So when you think about the AI getting involved, also I want you to think about drone warfare. We know we have used AI to control a drone to attack a target. I forget where it was, but it's the first fucking AI, you know, taking out a target without human intervention. And from what I hear, drone warfare is a big thing in Ukraine and Russia right now. Um, China has the technology to do these kinds of things. They've been working on it forever. China has drones that look like fucking birds. You can look it up. Look it up. China has drones that look like fucking birds to spy on their own population. Period. All right? So we can make drones that look like anything you want. They can look like UFOs, they can look like regular planes, they can look like drones. They can put a drone in the sky and make it look like whatever they want. That's the truth. And might even have some better flight characteristics than the DJI shit that you buy at Best Buy. So just keep that in mind. Keep all of these things in your head when you're watching the mainstream media beat this to death and get it every click they can out of it. Because I think one of the reasons they're financially motivated, obviously, because this is bipartisan. No one cares on the left or right when it comes to drones flying over shit, all right? They're all going to be captivated by it or fearful of it. So I don't know exactly what happened. I know the more time passes and the less our government addresses this with a direct, transparent, statement, just come out. You don't have to tell us what you're doing. Come out and tell us if it's you. If it's you, say, yes, this is us. That's it. We can't tell you what we're doing. That would be the best statement. Get up on the fucking thing and be like, there's no threat to the public. We cannot tell you what we're doing. Or it's us, but we can't tell you what we're doing. You know, Instead, they treat us like we're fucking idiots. And sometimes we are. Like the dude firing a rifle up at a commercial aircraft. You're an idiot. And then you should go to jail for that, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. That would be a terrorist act. So, no, don't fire at these things yourself. You know, because you're probably firing at a commercial aircraft at that point. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the media. You all know that. I think this is a distraction tactic to take our attention away from something that's going to suck for us or that may suck soon. Or maybe they're warming us up for something. I don't know. Either way, when you have all the mainstream media singing the same song and then the government being like, well, I'm sorry, but you guys are just seeing things. Keep in mind how many years the mainstream media parented this current administration's agenda. How many years they told us things that weren't true, or they didn't tell us things that were true because it didn't support this administration's agenda. Keep that in mind. Take everything you're seeing with a grain of salt. So don't get super scared. I think we'll be okay. I think these drones, that what they are, I don't think they're aliens. I don't even think they're a foreign adversary at this point. Because a foreign adversary, I first of all, I can only think of a couple countries that have the capability to do this, unless they sold, like had a contract to an, maybe a lesser, like, I do not believe that Iran has this capability, but I do believe that China would sell this capability to another country. So there's that. If I had to guess, I think it's a massive test of AI and its ability to select targets such as power plants, uh, bases, critical infrastructure. They might be training AI and drone technology to do this. That is my theory. I have zero proof of this. But based on the landscape, based on the conflicts that are going on overseas, based on the technology leaps we're seeing on a daily basis in AI, based on drones in the battlefield and things that have already been done, if I had to guess, where there's somebody, I don't know who, probably our government, probably a contractor, I don't know. Some company might be doing it. Who knows? And some company might be doing it with a wink and a nod from the government, so they're just like, it's nothing to see here. We're good. If I had to guess, they're definitely, I would say they're testing AI piloted drones without the capability of inflicting damage yet. But it would make sense to see how, for example, when they want to test a self-driving car, they put it in an environment that's urban or whatnot, in a difficult environment. And as we can see, AI fucks that up a lot. So if I had to guess, I think they're training some kind of AI to be able to target things. And there's probably some human oversight, to when the AI says, okay, that's a target, I'll blow that up, even though they don't have the capability to do it right now, and I believe, this is my theory, that that's what's going on. They're testing AI swarms of drones, which is fucking scary as fuck. Didn't nobody watch Terminator? I watched Terminator. You watched Terminator. We're giving AI control of weapons. Ugh, that's my theory. Take it or leave it. I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just an asshole, after all, as I've said for years. Um, Before I go, I'd like to let you know that you can support this channel and more content. I want to thank those of you who have already become premium members. You're supporting the content here on YouTube as well as the content I post on my own platform. My next video that I film will be for my subscribers. So I haven't posted a new one there within the past week or so. There is some content there already for you, though, some music and whatnot. So if you want to support this channel and you want some exclusive content, some more uncensored content, you can head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and sign up for either a premium or just join the Scott the Truck Driver Club, which is $5 a month. Premium's $10. You get a lot more for premium than you do with just the club. Or you can just leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. And if you are broke as fuck and you don't want to do any of that, that's fine. I'm happy. But please like and subscribe. The subscribe button's doesn't take that much energy to, you use your thumb on your phone or whatever. Hit the subscribe button. Let YouTube know that, hey, we're back. You need to start putting these fucking thumbnails in front of eyeballs, giving people the opportunity to not click on my videos instead of just, hiding me in the algorithm. That would be great. So, but once again, thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my growing platform. And hopefully someday I'll do a lot less of the driving and more of the video making. So, but right now I got another fucking 600 miles to go today. 400 today, and heading to Virginia. So it wanted to route me through New Jersey, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go that way. So I took the the optional other route, even though they wanted me to fuel in Jersey. And I'm like, no, this is not a good time for me to be in New Jersey. You got people shooting at drones in the sky. I'm sorry, but no, thank you, appreciate you. So, but I'll be in Pennsylvania, so who knows? Who knows what I might see in the night sky? Although it's looking pretty cloudy tonight, so I ain't gonna see shit. Is that a drone? No, sorry, just fucking with you. Anyways, have a nice motherfucking day and shit. And if you see something, don't take out your shitty cell phone, all right? Go get a fucking real camera. A DSLR with a telephoto lens. Nobody wants to see your shaky fucking iPhone blurry shit. And you don't even know how to focus on the fucking thing in the middle of the night anyway. Stop taking shitty videos and putting them on the net like you've seen something. All we see is blurry shit and hearing you going, oh my god, it's a drone. No, stop that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, maybe you'll get a few 100,000 clicks and maybe YouTube will instantly make you a partner. But fuck, you're making it difficult for the real shit to come through. So I'm going to miss the days where we could figure out what's real and what isn't. Because pretty soon those days are gone. You ain't going to know what the fuck's, whether it's coming or going. If you can't go and physically look at it with your own fucking eyeballs, you aren't going to know if it's true or not. You'll be able to be gaslit no matter what. And that sucks. Sucks. All right. I've ranted enough. All right. I'm good now. I'm going to go back to work. My blood pressure's lower. We're good. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit.